My mom is.
Okay. Well, put them both as they, assuming they're alive, in front of you, just in your imagination. There they are. There they are. And you'll notice them. They're not good at giving love. They have kind of blank, maybe even critical faces, but they're simply not very good at giving you love. They don't know how to at all. And you will see within them a dry love sponge. Love sponge is like a water sponge. You know, it fills up with water and then it overflows and so on. Only this sponge accepts love, not water. And it can fill up in love, and then you can share that and radiate it and all this to other people. But their love sponge is dry. And while you're looking at that with the dry love sponges within each of your parents, you notice within you, your own love sponge needs help. We may have filled it up a little bit here just recently, but you're all alone. I'm not lovable. That's how we started all of this. And so on. At a 10, I'm not lovable. That's a dry love sponge. And underneath love, well, I'm going to pause for a moment and ask you just a question. You keep your eyes closed, but I'm just going to ask you a question. If your love sponge was filled, and this is sort of a question nobody's ever asked you before, but just do your best with it, okay? If your love sponge was absolutely filled, you didn't feel all alone and all of these other things that emanated from the childhood beliefs that you bought, would you have your various ailments? Would you have insomnia? Would you have these other things or not? What's your best estimate?
No, I would not have them.
Okay. Love cures everything. That's the whole idea. And the more we can get of it, the more relief we can have and so on. So there you are with your dry love sponge. Unseen therapist is right there with you. And she has a full love sponge, always does. It's so full, it just radiates. And the more she radiates, the more it fills up, the more love there is, and so on. That's the nature of love. The more you give, the more you have. Okay. Love is best when shared. In fact, love is a form of sharing. So there she is next to you, and now you're open, just like you were a little bit ago, going through the cloud when she was saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Absolutely, I love you. She's there now saying it again. And every time she says, I love you, your love sponge starts to fill up. And I'm going to help it out a little bit, okay? I love you. Here comes more love for the love sponge. I love you. Oh, I cherish the ground you walk on, Dee Dee. I love you. And the more I love you and the more this love sponge fills up, the more you're going to be able to radiate this love, even to your parents and people around you. I love you. I love you. Oh. This is not, Dee Dee, so you know, a romantic kind of love. That's a substitute for the real love. This is, I love you from the deepest part. This is, I love you for you. I love you. I love you. Oh, look at you. I love you. Now continue at yourself until you've gotten to the point where your love sponge is as full as you can make it, till you've gone as far as you can go, and then just say okay, and we'll proceed from there.
Okay.
All right, good. Does that feel improved or not?
I think it feels the same.
The same as what?
The same improvement as I had before.
Okay.
When you first said, I can't say I got any more. It feels
all right.
It feels like it stayed there.
All right. All right, close your eyes. Close your eyes. And now with your love sponge more filled than it used to be, there's your parents. And we're not ever going to excuse the behavior, the ignoring behavior and so on, and some of the other things your father may have done, which we haven't discussed here in this session, but like the diaper incidents and that you and I know about. You look at them, the dry love sponge, and now the nice thing about the love sponge is as it fills up, we can radiate it. It fills up and there's more, it just overflows. So in your imagination, allow it to, your love sponge, to overflow and share it with your parents. And watch in your imagination as the love sponge begins to fill up, whether or not you feel it, whether or not there's warm fuzzies or all this other kind of stuff. In your imagination, allow it to happen with unseen therapist help. Okay, just allow it to happen. Their love sponge to fill up, and as that happens, say to them, "I love you. I love you." See, they may never have heard that themselves in a meaningful way. I love you. And see, when you share love that way, you gain more of it yourself. I love you. I love you. And in your imagination, watch their posture soften. Watch the expression on their face soften, become more loving. Watch the look in their eyes soften and become more loving as you say, I love you. Even though you may even have some resentment left over and things like that. Oh, that's always possible. We're trying to go beyond that. At the core, they've never had much love. Maybe none at all. I love you. That's what you say. I love you. Just keep doing that until you've gone as far as you think you can go, and just open your eyes and go talk. Were you able to follow along okay?
Yes. It seemed like when we first started, seeing my parents was a very, standing there, it was a very loving feeling. It wasn't, it was happy to see them, and it seemed very peaceful and loving. And then as it progressed, it kind of went backwards a little bit. Like, I had this, I hesitate to even say it because I don't want it to be true. But it's like, okay, just stay there. Just stay where I was.
Well, wait. I'm sorry. I didn't hear the words.
Well, when you first did it, it was a great thing. Like, I saw my parents standing there, and it felt loving, and I was happy to see them, and I didn't have any bad or anger or anything like that. But the longer I stayed there, my mom actually had evil eyes, and then I was trying to wipe them away, like, oh, no. And then I tried to bring back the loving feeling, and it never got back to as good as it was. It was almost that same thing as getting so close and having it, which I've done many times in my life, having that feeling, and then that wall.